In this video, we'll be connecting up a MIDI keyboard and recording some keys in Cubase's 3s. Let's go. Hi, my name is Pete and welcome to the fourth video in my Cubase's 3 series. In this one, we're connecting up a MIDI keyboard and recording some keys. Now, if you're new to recording using a MIDI keyboard, there is some videos linked down below that will show you how to connect up your MIDI keyboard to your iPhone or iPad. And if you are in the market for a MIDI keyboard, this is what I recommend, the M Audio Keystation, and there is links to that in the description and over at studiolivetoday.com/gear. But for now, let's get this hooked up and start recording. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not going into a heap of detail about connecting your keyboard. There is a video linked up the top and in the description, but here's a quick look at my setup. I've got the M Audio Keystation 49 Mark III, once again going into my powered USB hub, into my iPad Pro via that multi-port adapter, and I'm also plugging in a sustain pedal. And once again, all of the gear that I use in this video is over at studiolivetoday.com/gear. So for the rest of this video, so you can see a little bit of the keyboard, I'm going to cut my head off. Some may say an improvement, but let's get set up here in Cubasis now. So what I've done, I've actually brought in 3 tracks to play along to. This is from my song that I'm creating in GarageBand. We've got a drum, a guitar, and a bass track. This is my song called 1%, and I've just exported them as WAV files, brought them right here into Cubasis. Let's hit play and take a listen to this track. So it's just a nice sort of slow jam. I've made sure it's lined up here at 106 BPM, and that's about all I've done. And now I'm ready to add in a few keyboard tracks, and that's what we're going to do right now. Now, the beauty part of MIDI via USB is I've just plugged this in and it should work 100% out of the box. I shouldn't need to change anything here. This is a plug and play class compliant keyboard, so we should be good to go. So what I'm going to do is tap the add and go to MIDI because we're going to sample some MIDI tracks. Now, I don't want it up there. We're just going to tap and hold and bring this down below all these instruments. And now what I want to do is select which instrument I want to use. So I'm going to tap on the keys there. We're going to go to the list options here, and here are all of the different options here in this Microsonic. So if I just play out of the box, we've just got the acoustic piano, which I might want to add some, but I'm actually after an electric piano to start with here. So let's try and find, what about this classic E piano? Is this going to be the sort of sound that we want? I think that's going to work. So why don't we record with this? And you can see that as I'm pressing down on the keys, it's showing the keys up here in Cubasis. I could tap on the screen, but when I play, it's going to show me that. And if I want to see more of my keyboard, as I've showed before, we can actually stretch this out. In fact, I might do this just so that you can see all the notes I'm playing here on the keyboard. Whoop, I've got to grab that handle. There we go. Is that going to... We're a little bit to the left. There we are. That should be a good spot to be able to see what we're playing in here. So let's now cue this up, because what we've got 4 bars of lead in here, and then our drums, our bass, and our guitar will come on in, and we can now record in a part just by hitting record, arming our track, and we're good to go. Right, we'll stop that there. There you go. You can see that that's been recorded in here. There's all of our MIDI note information. If we double tap on this one, we can come into our piano roll and we can start editing, changing, adjusting, doing what we ever need. We've got all of our dynamics down the bottom here, our velocity that we can change. And the beautiful part of using a MIDI keyboard is that you can really get those dynamic changes in there. You can see the velocity going up and down there. So we're going to have different sounds in there. Let's play this back and take a listen to what it sounds like here in the mix. Pretty cool, yeah. So, and again, because of the flexibility here, we can change this to any other instrument we like. This is why MIDI is so cool. So if we wanted to try this with a different sound, we come back to our keys here, we go to our list, and what would this sound like if we wanted to actually go back to the regular acoustic piano? Well, we can do that and then hit play. And we can go ahead and audition any of our other instruments here, which is pretty cool. What about a clavinet? What would this sound like? Yeah, maybe not. So let's go back to our original electric piano, which was right around here. There it was, right above. Okay, so we'll leave that one in there now. Let's set up another couple of tracks here and just show some other things that we can do using our MIDI keyboard. Okay, I've added a new track, and this time I've chosen the vintage string sound. So I want to put a bit of a string pad in here. So why don't we hit record and just add a little bit of a pad here to our track. So there you go, that's recorded in there. Now I did hit a bit of a wrong note at the end here, but no problem. Here's the power of MIDI. If we double tap on that one, we can actually adjust this. So we've got this note selected. We're here in our piano roll. All we need to do is tap it and then tap and drag it on up. And you'll notice there it does also snap to our grid. So I did play it a little early. If I wanted to change that, I can use the grid settings up here to make the grid a little bit finer so we can move that around. But let's just listen to this section now that I've corrected that final note there. Cool. And if I wanted to even shorten that note down, because I wanted it to be a real sort of staccato, I can just grab that and pull the note back. Oh no, I can't because I've still got my snapping to grid on here. Let's just expand this out a little bit and I should be able to now grab this and pull it on back. Nope, haven't quite worked this out yet. There is a way to do this. This is the joy of learning as I instruct. We're going to leave it for now, but that's something to go on the list of things to learn to make sure I can adjust the length of my notes there. But there you go, we've got 2 tracks recorded in there. What if we want a bit of a lead track? I think in this little part here, we want some sort of lead instrument to play in here. So let's put some sort of cool lead synth sound in here just to test this out. So once again, we're going to add, we're going to go MIDI, and here is our new MIDI track. We'll just bring it down again, tap and hold, bring it down to here, and then go to our keys and find what instrument that we want to use this time. So again, we're here in Microsonic. Don't forget that you have a bunch of other ways to add instruments. We've got the mini sampler, we've got the micro log in here, some classic machines. There's some in-app purchases that you can make that we'll be covering in a future video. Why don't we check out my audio units this time and see if we can add in something like maybe, what can we add in here to use as this? Should we add a saxophone? Should we bring in the Sensual Sax? This could be a bit of fun. So we'll tap Sensual Sax there, and now we've got the saxophone ready to go here with our Sensual Sax instrument that we can start using. Now, I haven't used an inter-app audio instrument yet, so this is going to be experimental for me here. There you go. That's where we can go to our different setting here, where we can add in a little bit of, which we're going to do. So that's cool. Let's get to this point here, and we'll just make up a little bit of a melody to go in here, a little bit of a sax solo in the middle here. Let's see how well Pete can improvise a sax solo on this one. All right, not outstanding, but we'll go with it for now. So let's just play back this section again and see how it sounds, bringing our saxophone in to this next section. Yeah, cool. Sounding okay. And again, because I use my sustain pedal there, I probably shouldn't use sustain pedal with a sax. You can see what that's done. It's sustained all those notes and then they've all cut off there at the end. So that's something for me to work on. You can tell I haven't done a lot of MIDI stuff for a while. And so yeah, if we come in here to our MIDI editor, we could start editing the start and the finish of those notes, because at the moment they're kind of overlapping and being held down together. But we can change all of that because we've got the power of MIDI to edit things in here. here. Let's show you one more thing here with the MIDI keyboard, and then we'll finish up on this one. Okay, MIDI is cool not only for our melodic instruments, but also for our percussive instruments. You know where I'm going here? Yeah, we're going to add in a drum kit this time. So if we go to our MIDI, we're going to add in this time, if we go to our keys, this time we want to add in a drum kit. So we're going to go to the very bottom. I think that's where our drum kits live, down the bottom of this one. Here we go. Which sort of kit should we have in here? Maybe like a vintage kit like this? No, that's going to be a little bit too intense. We need more like a jazz kit, don't we? I think I saw a jazz kit in here at some stage. Or did I? No. What about... Oh, there we go. There's the jazz kit. So you can already see what we're doing here. We are using the MIDI keys to play our drum sounds here. And the beautiful part is we get additional ones. So you can see here, over here is drum, is the tom mid 2. There's a mid tom there. There's actually additional tom drums and additional drums here in the MIDI keyboard, because you only get your, 14 pads that you get on there? A quick count? Yeah, 7x7. So if you want more sounds, you can use a MIDI keyboard, and it can actually be easier, let's bump my mic, to play MIDI drums using a keyboard, because you've got control, you've got your 5 fingers, you can actually use the velocity sensitivity here. So why don't we mute these original drums? We'll come up here, we'll mute those original drums. Let's record ourselves in a little bit of a simple drum pattern here onto this track now. So there you go. You can see what we've done there. We've got what we want in there. And again, if we wanted to sort of copy, we can just sort of record a little bit of drum. Don't forget, the other cool thing about MIDI is if we sort of bring this on back here, we can easily copy and paste this to make it go further along in the track. So if we just tap copy up here, we line up our playhead and we hit paste, and then we hit paste again. What I've noticed is that you don't even have to adjust your playhead. If you want it to keep going through and you want the same thing, you can just keep hitting paste, and it's going to go as far as you want. Now, this isn't going to line up with my track, obviously, because I've got different beats, different measures going on there, but it is going to give us a steady drum beat throughout the track, so that even if we come down to here, it'll be continuing to play these drums. Turn off the metronome. So we can get our drum patterns going on there. So there you go. You can use this to record your harmony instruments, your pianos, your keys, your lead instruments, and your drums. Having a MIDI keyboard and plugging it in is very cool in any digital audio workstation. But Cubase is here with the flexibility, with the inter-app audio, with the built-in sounds, and with those audio unit plugins, as well as drum kits. You got a whole bunch of things at your fingertips here to help with your creativity. I hope you found this one useful if you want to get into using your MIDI keyboard here in Cubase. I'm definitely having a blast doing it. There's more videos down below, and you can catch up on the rest of the series down there as well. And I hope you join me for the next video where I'll be looking at some vocals. That should be a whole lot of fun. Thanks, folks. See you next time.